This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring a discussion on Bihar elections. The participants are Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Anupam Mishra, AIR correspondent.
Welcome, Mr. Tandon, to this special discussion on Bihar Assembly polls in Spotlight.
Thank you.
Mr. Tandon, people have voted in favor of the NDA despite the talks of anti-incumbency against the Nitish Kumar-led government in the state. What was the reason, in your view?
I think when we talk of anti-incumbency, it is largely against the incumbent sitting MLAs and some ministers. And therefore we talk of and we say that it's an anti-incumbency against the government. But if you look at it, the way the JDU fielded sitting MLAs and ministers, and many of them are trailing, so that is one indication that anti-incumbency against the sitting MLAs is more profound and paramount than the anti-incumbency in general terms against the state government. Because one report which is coming out from Patna is that women by and large have supported Nitish Kumar for his policies. Some of his policies which are pro-women, women have stood by Nitish Kumar. So therefore, this particular criticism may not hold good. And then even if there is a fatigue factor of 15 years of Nitish government, then there are a large number of central schemes which have been very helpful and benefited all sections of the society. So combined the popular leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, his pro-people policies, the programs which have percolated down to the grassroots level, helping migrant laborers, poor, farmers, all sections of the society, whether we talk in terms of the policies and programs relating to healthcare, education, and also monetary benefits, and Ujjwala Yojana. I can name a number of benefited grassroots level people. So putting all these factors together, I think if at all there was any anti-incumbency, it has been neutralized, and that is why we see that NDA is in lead. NDA is still maintaining its absolute majority trend. So I think, but apparently there is anti-incumbency against a large number of sitting MLAs and a few ministers of the JDU.
Sir, do you think that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's image and his government's work boosted the image of the BJP and the alliance in the state?
Certainly. Because, see, over the last 6 years, the NDA government in the center, headed by Prime Minister Modi, has, launched a series of welfare schemes, not just on the eve of election, but consistently throughout the first term of NDA 1 and again, the second term of Narendra Modi. So these schemes were not just aimed at any election, but they have been very useful. Whether you name any scheme, it has, and these schemes were not keeping any particular caste, community, or religion in mind. So all sections of the society have benefited over the years. And therefore, these were quite apparent. And when the Prime Minister, intensive campaign he undertook, he was highlighting those issues, and people were naturally convinced about it. Yes, these benefits have reached, and especially during pandemic, the benefits which have reached migrant laborers, all these factors have helped the NDA to retain power, which apparently it is heading towards that. So I think there were a large number of positive factors which are helping the NDA.
Mr. Tandon, exit polls after the third and final day of polling on 7th November had predicted victory for Mahagathbandhan, but the results today are totally different. How you see this?
See, exit polls have gone wrong on many elections, previous elections also, and people also by and large don't believe the exit polls. They just take it with a pinch of salt for an entertainment for a couple of days. But this time round, all pollsters, all exit polls almost were one-sided in favor of Mahagathbandhan. And look at the way results are coming in. It's a cliffhanger fight, very close fight. So nobody, not even a single exit poll, predicted that NDA would be winning. So I think there has to be a debate on whether exit polls have any relevance. But the fact remains, if they lose their credibility, people also don't trust them. So I think once the results are out, the trends are now visible, people have forgotten those exit polls. So nobody really cares about the exit polls. It's only a momentary sort of indication which invariably has gone wrong, except the fact that there is a silver lining in the exit polls, that in the state by-polls, by and large the exit polls have proved right, because they predicted a landslide victory in the by-polls as far as Gujarat is concerned, and also substantial victory for the BJP in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh also. So to that extent, the results of the by-polls in other states other than Bihar are on the predicted lines.
Mr. Tandon, casteism has always been a big factor in elections in Bihar. Do you feel that people have rejected casteism and gave priority to development?
See, unfortunately, Bihar is notorious for the caste-based politics, and the fact remains that people do believe in caste, and accordingly, parties also feel their candidates, irrespective of the fact which alliance or which party we are talking about. But then sometimes it gets neutralized also. But nevertheless, it is a factor. But the fact also is that once the results are out, there will be an in-depth analysis how much the caste factor has weighed in favor of or against any particular alliance. But and one thing I would like to mention is that we in the media also, unfortunately, when we analyze the poll and the campaign, we always talk in terms of the caste numbers, which is not correct way of assessing any election. But unfortunately, that is happening, and that happens quite in a big way in Bihar, and maybe this time also we'll know only once the results are analyzed that how strong the caste factor was.
Apart from the ruling party, how you see the performance of other parties in this assembly polls?
See, as we were discussing, the exit polls are giving a huge success to RJD and its leader, Tejasvi Yadav, youth, double factor of youth like Tejasvi and Rahul Gandhi. They will challenge the double engine factor of Nitish and Prime Minister Modi. But if you look at the trends so far, I don't think this has worked very well in favor of the Mahagathbandhan, because in the last election, RJD had 81 seats, and it is still struggling to reach that mark. And Congress, of course, which was boasting of the leadership of Rahul Gandhi, had 27 seats in the last election. Out of 40 they contested, and this time they were given 70 seats to contest, and they are still struggling to reach the mark of 27. So I think these are the factors. The only party or combination which seems to be benefiting out of the Mahagathbandhan is the left front, and they have done remarkably well, and that is one factor. But as far as other parties are concerned, like Lok Janshakti Party, it has not done well. It has not, in fact, it is no longer a factor right now. Other parties, Owaisi's party also seems to be leading at least in 4 seats. And this is also a very significant development. And in a state like Bihar, which is largely based in Telangana, Hyderabad-based party is trying to make inroads and some dent into the minority-dominated areas of Bihar. So these factors will be analyzed once all the results are available.
Mr. Tandon, how you see the results of the by-polls in 59 constituency in 11 states? Madhya Pradesh will have a stable government now.
By and large, these by-election results in states other than Bihar are predicted lines, in the sense that, as I said, the exit polls had also indicated BJD has retained its 2 seats in Odisha. Jharkhand also is on the predicted lines, and so is Chhattisgarh. But BJP's commendable performance in Madhya Pradesh is something which is really noteworthy, because there was speculation that if Shivraj Singh fails to retain at least 8 seats, then the government may be in trouble. But going beyond that expectation, the BJP is now leading almost in 19 seats. And that's a commendable performance, and it's a feather in Shivraj's cap. Also, I think Jyotiraditya Scindia has done well, because all these, a large number of these by-elections were cast because his supporters in the Congress left party and joined the BJP. So Kamal Nath also has conceded defeat in Madhya Pradesh, and Kamal Nath's stakes were also very high. So I think significant results in Madhya Pradesh, and what has surprised most analysts is that results on the 8th by-election in Gujarat. All the 8 the BJP has won, and that also is a remarkable achievement. Similarly, UP, barring one seat, they have won 6 seats in UP by-election. Although there was a lot of talk about the law and order situation in UP, etc., but Yogi has done his job. So the chief ministers of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, as well as UP, they have performed well in these by-elections, and the Karnataka also, Yediyurappa government, and both the by-elections have gone in favor of BJP. So BJP has done extremely well, but the fact remains that the Congress, which was hoping to, gain some foothold in these states, have failed, particularly in Gujarat, because they don't have any leadership in Gujarat, and that is one reason why it's a clean sweep for the BJP in Gujarat.
Mr. Tandon, in view of COVID-19 pandemic, the Election Commission made several commendable special arrangements during voting and also during counting today. What do you think about it?
Commendable job done by Election Commission, and also the security agencies, security forces, which not only maintained law and order and peace during campaigning, but also during polling as well as counting. And Bihar, as we all know, has been notorious for poll violence. There was hardly any violent incident. So, and that arrangements made by the Election Commission in consultation and cooperation with the state government, the district administration, and the number of polling booths being increased, and all these things. Counting centers also have been increased, and that is one reason why the counting is very slow. But the fact remains that pandemic, SOPs have been adhered to very strictly, although there were reports during campaign and polling also that not many people were maintaining social distancing, and the mask issue was also there. But by and large, I must say that Bihar election and also the by-poll in other states, 10 states, 11 states, have shown that Indian voters are matured. They came out in large number. The poll percentage was also more than expected, keeping in the pandemic in view. And by and large, the counting process, and I think it's something which Indians can be proud of, that Indian democracy is at work, and Indians voters are also matured enough. So all, credit goes to Election Commission, because they have belied the, prophet of doom's theory that elections can't be held during pandemic, and elections have been held, not only in Bihar, but in 11 states, although they were, and then some elections will be coming in the next few months. So therefore, I think India is mature democracy, and we have shown that we have a functional democracy, and we can hold election even during pandemic.
Sir, in Northeast also, the NDA has done very well in Manipur and in Nagaland. What do you think about it?
I think over the last 6 years, the NDA, particularly the BJP, has been doing extremely well in Northeast. One after the other, they have been capturing the states. They are chief minister in a large number of Northeastern states, and they have now, established themselves as a local party, as a party of the Northeast also. So the organizational setup which the BJP has in Northeast now, and which has now spread to all corners, I think that is one reason why the BJP and NDA have been doing well in Northeast.
Thank you.
Not only once, but successively they have been doing extremely well.
Thank you, Mr. Tandon, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on Bihar elections. The participants were Ashok Tandon, political analyst, and Anupam Mishra, AIR correspondent. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR. This program is also available on our website newsonair.com. You may email opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.